USAA knows dynamic duos can save the day, like superheroes and sidekicks or auto and home insurance. With USAA, you can bundle your auto and home and save up to 10%. Learn more and get a quote at USAA.com/bundle. Restrictions apply.
After Zoomies at the dog park, it's time for Drive Up at Target. In goes a big bag of kibble and one squeaky chicken toy for the good boy. Drive Up that's ready when you are, only in the Target app. Just tap Target.
Finding a new job is stressful. But with Indeed, it doesn't have to be. Just fill out your Indeed profile with your skills, experience, and desired salary. The more you fill out, the better your matches will be. And hearing from hiring managers will be 2 times more likely. Relax. That's your Indeed profile sending opportunities your way. Indeed, the world can work better.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Whatever the occasion, effortless elegance is right this way. Because Hilton brings you new ways to stay courtesy of the Nomad London. And it doesn't stop at award-winning dining in a space draped in velvet and illuminated by vintage chandeliers. No, this day goes beyond with unparalleled personalized service and attentive hospitality. Oh, and did we mention the Nomad London can be booked using your Hilton Honors points at Hilton.com? Hilton, for the stay.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Birds of the Round Table. Bryce Huff is gone. We are reacting biggest winners, top 3 wins of the Eagles offseason. What the heck are the Eagles going to do with the tight end position down the road? We've got a 6-pack of questions that we're going to go one by one. And joining us, Ryan Reese at Philly Sports PSA. What's up, Ryan?
Not much. Got some exciting news. How he somehow, some way, gets rid of Huff, and for a decent pick, I might add. So, yeah, saving some money, saving some room. See what he does with it.
Also joining us, David at PHL Eagle News. What up, David?
What's going on, man? I'm just glad that we cover the Eagles. There is always something to talk about. It is always something going on. Never a dull moment.
Yeah, we're getting close to the rough part of the offseason as we cannot wait for training camp in July. But let's jump right in. As always, if you're watching this live, please be sure to comment your take on these questions. The Eagles traded Bryce Huff to the Niners. They will get a 5th, a conditional 4th. Ryan, lead us off, man. Besides Eagles fans, who was the biggest winner of the Bryce Huff trade?
I think, honestly, I think you have to look at Vic Fangio. I think now he's not strapped worrying about what his line's going to look like. He doesn't have to worry about it. He's absolutely glad that he's gone. And listen, I don't think anybody wishes him ill will. It just is one of those things where he didn't fit his style. He wasn't very good in the run game, and he was only very situational and wasn't very good with the Eagles at doing that. So hopefully he'll have a shot to hit those incentives over in San Fran, and we can get that 4th rounder. So more picks, baby, for Howie.
David.
I think this is one of the few trades in the NFL that actually benefits the player and equally both teams. I think both teams won. I think Bryce Huff was kind of a fish out of water in Philadelphia. And by the time he got his footing, he got injured, and it just snowballed from there. And he's back with Robert Saleh, who was his, coach in the Jets where he flourished. So I think he'll do pretty well again. The style of football that they play, kind of suits him. And I think the Eagles, they take on a dead cap of like $5 million this year, like 16.6 next year. So they essentially bought a draft pick. Their hopes is that they'll get the 4th round pick, and I guess they value that at that, amount of money. So yeah. I honestly do think it's just something that worked out for both teams. I don't really think there's a winner or a loser in that situation.
I think the winner is Azeez Ojulari, a guy that I think is fully entrenched now as edge rusher 3. No doubt about it as of right now. He had a really promising rookie year, 8 sacks, 42 pressures, 17 games played, 13 starts. After that, 7 games 2022, 11 games 2023. Blink an eye, he's behind the depth chart, behind Brian Burns and Kayvon Thibodeau in 2024. Had a foot injury, and now he's 25 years old and on the Philadelphia Eagles. And Ojulari is a guy that I think just needs to not just put it all together, but stay healthy. He's got a bevy of lower body injuries, toe, ankle, hamstring, quad, ankle, calf injuries during his 4-year career. The Eagles clearly like him. They clearly think he's got, some of that hybrid potential that we saw back during his days at Georgia. So for me, I think it's Azeez Ojulari as a guy that can really step in and pin his ears back, and we'll see what we got. Hopefully he can stay healthy. So we have some comments here. Jack Straw says, "Buy Huff and Puff." It's amazing. How many times did we say this months ago? If Howie was able to find a way to get Bryce Huff off this team, man, it was an A+ offseason, and here we are. And, kudos to Howie. It was a horrible signing. It didn't work out. But how many times do you look across the pond in Philly sports? The Phillies holding on to Ryan Howard too long. The Sixers holding on to Joel Embiid and Doc Rivers too long. You could go on the Flyers holding on to old vets too long. To be able to recognize and say this didn't work and own it and look yourself in the mirror. You can look across Philly sports. There's an accountability issue across the board, and I respect Howie for making this kind of move. Any thoughts on that?
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. The fact of the matter is you had a guy that basically, signed a 17 per year $1 million contract and couldn't even get on the field. And basically his value plummeted. And just, everybody just said, I guess we're just going to have to, take it on the chin and just either cut him or just let him rot. And somehow, some way he got a team to see something in wanting to trade for him. Obviously, an old, coach in Robert Saleh, obviously the head coach of the Jets when he had his, most successful year. And hope that he can unlock that again and hope that he gets those incentives. But Howie's a true GOAT for this one.
Hopefully Daryl Morey can follow suit and get PG off this roster. We'll see what happens.
You are so Sixers.
It's
salty.
We're gonna lose. We're gonna lose watchers by the second if we do that. Any thoughts on that, David?
No, I agree with y'all. I think that's one of the biggest improvements he's made as general manager is when he makes a mistake, he acknowledges it quick. It's bad when you make a mistake, but it's egregious if you keep it on the roster and further continue to, impede the team with something like that. So, I think that's probably the biggest, difference in early Howie and late Howie was he always tried to, seem like he was the smartest guy in the room, I guess was the phrase a lot of people used, and he would just wait things out and hope that it would turn out better. But no, I agree completely. That's been a big difference, including you can go far back as the Carson Wentz signing. I mean, they ate at the time, what was it, 120 some million? It was the largest amount of dead money in the history of the NFL. And he just moved on. And that's what you have to do in this league. If it's not working, it's not working.
Yep. Jack says, glad Howie can admit he's wrong these days. Just cut losses. Our hits have been huge, especially the draft hits. David Boyle chimes in, how soon do you see Nakobe Dean playing? There was a comment by Vic Fangio saying he's not even close, which we saw him during the basketball videos, and he was shooting hoops, and we're getting a little excited, maybe too excited, but this is damning. Any thoughts on that, guys?
This is heartbreaking, honestly. The second I heard it, I knew that was, probably the worst news you'd want to hear at this point. Because even if there was, they were kind of in the middle, they weren't really sure, they would at least project positivity. And now again, Fangio isn't one to mix words or to, not sugarcoat anything.
Can I say how fucking refreshing that is?
It is.
Especially, I'm sorry, I hate to beat a dead horse here, but the Sixers will never give you clear answers ever, period, ever. And Vic Fangio sitting on the podium, just calling it as it is. I respect the hell out of that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, unfortunately, his brutal honesty was a gut shot to those who had hoped that Dean would be coming back anytime soon. So let's just hope he takes his time and he comes back the right way and can eventually, fight and claw his way back to what he once was.
I can tell you that Dean does not share that assessment that he's far away off.
Agreed.
I mean, he just said that. So I don't know. Maybe it's somewhere in the middle. I don't know.
David Boyle says the winner of this will be Jordan Davis, and he'll be a star this year. We'll see how many snaps he gets in 2025. Krabby says Rube talked about how other GMs would have held on to Bryce Huff to make it right, but Howie's been so great just to cut his losses and move on. Claude Giroux, absolutely. That's a good one. That's a really good one. Accountability, it was a shot and he missed it. Howie's great, but don't sugarcoat this failure. No, still a dead cap hit. Fair. I think there's both sides of the coin, no doubt.
Yeah.
Great coaches make great GMs look better.
Vice versa, too. Don't you think?
Davey's in the house. What's going on, Davey? Fangio is an OG. Every time the Sixers, Krabby hits the mute button. Totally fair. Cannot resign. That's the sad part about this team, is Nakobe Dean, as great as he was, as big of a leader as he was in 2024, the timing of it all is just horrific. It's tragic. It's a gut punch. And we can go, you can go back to the videos of when this all went down. And I remember that post-game show of that reflection on that injury, and we all saw it. And it was just horrible.
Yeah.
Jack says terrible timing. All right. Let's roll on to our next question of the evening. Now that the Eagles have traded Bryce Huff, let's rank the top 3 wins for the Philadelphia Eagles and Howie Roseman this offseason. David, lead us off, brother.
The biggest win to me was the most important signing that he did of the entire offseason, and that was getting Zach Bond back on the roster. It was numero uno. Especially on the heels of just speaking of Dean. I mean, they couldn't go into this thing missing two linebackers, both of their starting linebackers. And also, not mentioned previously when we were talking about Dean, Fangio also said that the new linebacker, Jahad Campbell's not going to see the field until mid to late August either.
Yep. That was a little surprising as well. That was another gut punch, especially with a guy that it's kind of a hybrid. It's going to have to really pick things up very quickly. David, what was your number 3?
Number 3, and we're not counting Huff.
I think you did. We can count Huff if you want.
Yeah. Number 2, I had. Well, number 3. If you want 3 first, I had Bryce Huff. Yeah, moving Bryce Huff. I think that opens up snaps. I mean, you mentioned Aziz, but I also think it shows the confidence they have in last year's draft pick, Jalix Hunt. I mean, he's the one who stepped up when Huff went down. He's the one who played more snaps in the playoffs, the Super Bowl. I mean, so I think it's a big win for him and Nolan Smith. I think you have 2 young guys who are now at the forefront of the position, whereas, taking the throne, so to speak, away from Brandon Graham and Josh Sweat. It's complete new blood.
Yeah. David says, when did DeJean see the field? Yeah, I feel like he wasn't ramped up until August and didn't play until week 5.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah, he wasn't even playing at the beginning of training camp. No. He wasn't there at the first week of August. He wasn't participating. He was standing there, but he wasn't able to participate.
Yep.
All right, so David says Zach Bond for number 3.
Number
Bryce
1
Huff.
was Bond. Number 3 was Huff. And number 2 to me, Cam Jurgens.
Cam Jurgens extension? Okay.
Yeah, I think that was super important. It just keeps the stability on one of the biggest strengths of the team, which is the trenches, the offensive line.
Nice.
It's their core value. So those are my top 3.
Ryan, what are your 3?
Should I go in a weird random order like David?
Go 2, 1, and 3.
I also have Zach Bond as number 1. I think, when we were looking at the amount of free agents this offseason, obviously we were hoping to get one of them back. Bond was clearly at the top of that list. That's what they prioritized, and they got him back. Number 2 was the drafting of Jihad Campbell.
Wow.
That I think is going to be such a monumental draft pick for years to come. And then number 3 is Bryce Huff. But honorable mention is Cam Jurgens and the Saquon re-signing.
Nice. I'm going to go. Of course, I'm going to go off into left field on this one, as I do. Number 1, Zach Bond, no question. Number 2 for me, the return of Dallas Goedert. And that is a big question for tonight's show. We're going to get into the tight end spot, not just in 2025, but what they should do going forward, because it's a little bleak. But Dallas Goedert was an unbelievable, impactful player last year. The Eagles went 5-1 without him last year, but with him, the passing game was significantly better. 207 yards per game with Dallas Goedert, just 165 yards per game in 6 games without him. Dallas Goedert, I think, is immeasurable. So really happy to see him return, given everything on the table that was available to Howie. There's not a lot that they could have done better there. And then number 3, winning the tush push. I was very happy about the tush push decision. That is their identity. It is, what they're excellent at in terms of 3rd and short, 4th and short, and owning time of possession. I think that is a big win for them, just in terms of something they're great at and something that can carry over successfully, as they have a pretty tough early stretch in 2025. Jack Straw says health is wealth. 88 in for a big season. I hope so. Let's get into our next question of the night. Saquon Barkley, the cover athlete for Madden NFL 2026. On a scale of 0, you don't care, to 10, the Eagles are screwed. What is your concern level? Just some quick background. You look at Madden cover athletes the last 25 years. There's been a lot of ups and downs. Over the last 10 cover athletes, 3 have suffered significant injuries. 7 have had seasons where they met or exceeded expectations. But where it gets a little dicey is the running back position with the cover athletes. Yep. You go back to 2021, Eddie George had a good year. Didn't change much. But 2023, Marshall Faulk.
Injuries. Wait. The years here are all off here.
He means 2001, 2003.
Yeah, I was going to say.
What did I say?
2021 and 2023. I'm like, wait a minute. I think you're 20 years off here, bud.
Yeah. Eddie George, 2001, had a good year. Marshall Faulk in 2003 with the Rams injuries. Shaun Alexander, 2007, broke his foot.
Yep.
And then Peyton Hillis, 2012, injuries.
That was just ridiculous.
Yeah. So, all right. Ryan, what's your ranking?
Listen, as somebody who's quite literally owned Madden every single year that it's come out faithfully, even though I should have quit long ago, I'm at about a 5. Now, the reason why I'm at a 5 is not necessarily because I believe in the curse. I really don't. I just think that this is an easy scapegoat for Philly fans should anything go wrong. And the just amount of hate and just the amount of excuses and the amount of just vitriol towards Madden and whatever is going to be unfreaking bearable should he either get hurt or should he maybe not even have that great of a year, whatever the case may be. Eagles fans will absolutely attack, and it will be just the worst.
David.
For the Madden curse, I'm at a 0. I have no superstitions about that whatsoever. I liked Saquon's answer. I don't believe in curses. I believe in God. If I would be worried about anything, I would be more concerned over the Saquon that he was there at Geno's. That would be more disturbing to me than him on the cover of Madden.
That's gross. Gross talk right there.
Jack says they'll be burning copies.
Seriously. That is the. Otherwise I'd be at 0 with David. I just think we would just Eagles fans as a whole will find out where EA Studios are, burn it to the ground. They'd find the guy that does EA Sports and find him and string him up and
a whole lot of people yesterday, Jack. Tons of people yesterday because Saquon was on the grill.
Yeah.
Angelo's and Jim's, just saying. Let's roll on.
Anything but Pat's and Geno's.
That's the end. That's the correct answer. David says
the difference between number 1 and number 20 is non-existent.
The Madden curse can blah blah blah. The NFC East back-to-back curse is the one I believe. Yeah, that's a good one. The Eagles to win the division next year. Let's roll on to the next question. If the Eagles added one veteran to a position going forward, what position would that be, and who is a target for you, David?
I think my answer is going to be redundant to your next question because the one position that I want is tight end. I think it's the most surprising position that they didn't address in the draft. And they have 13 draft picks now, something like 8 or 9 in the first 4 rounds. Just go ahead and pay the Raiders a 3rd or a 4th and get Michael Mayer here, man. Just go ahead and do it. So that would be where I go.
You literally just took out a whole segment for me, man. I hear that. Like, he's by far, in my opinion, like the easiest path for the Birds, and no shot to our Ryan's boy Grant Calcaterra, who filled in at least as a receiver very well without Dallas Goedert last year. But I would jump all in on Michael Mayer and just it's a luxury, but for me going forward, that's the best route because you look at 2026 and the NFL draft. There's not a lot of great options, at least as of right now. It is way too early. So for me, I would be all in on that. And
Mayer's
just
23 23 years old. I mean, he's almost as young as half the ones they could have drafted, 2 months back. So, and 2 years of control.
Yep, that's big. That's the big piece. Ryan, if you could add one veteran to a position, who would it be, and who's your target?
Man, this is tough because that above all else, I do love me some tight ends. And yeah, I'm kind of gotta agree with you guys here. Listen, I think on this show specifically, we've been calling for better tight ends for the past 2 years. And like David, I was shocked that they didn't do anything about it in the draft. They have 1,000,001 draft picks next year. Why stop at one? Why stop at Mayer? Go get Kyle Pitts too. Why not?
Oh my God!
Let's just throw all of our tight ends on the line at the same time. What are they gonna do? They're not gonna do anything about it. No, but seriously, that Mayer Pitts, honestly, at this point, 6 and 1, half dozen the other. I know Mayer is 23, Pitts is 24, although again, only 1 year. I believe this is the last year of control where Mayer has this and next. I am all for it. I couldn't not. I mean, when we have two serviceable tight ends, I think our offense just runs in a different way, and the fact that we have the running game to go with it now, I don't see how there's a weakness in this offense. Who are you going to cover? If you get another weapon at tight end, somebody who can at least do all the things that the Dallas Goedert can do, I think it makes your offense the absolute best it can be.
Look up one of the weirdest stats I found from 2024 was if you look up the yards for Saquon Barkley without Dallas Goedert, they're astronomical. I'm talking over 200 yards a game without Dallas Goedert, and you wouldn't expect that. I'm getting some echo for some reason. But anyway, make sure you check that out. Yeah, it's you, Ryan. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, for some reason, given Dallas Goedert and his run blocking and things like that, we have a comment from Jack saying, David, what is your opinion of the Kyle Pitts chatter?
I think that the cost would have to dictate that because he's on his 5th-year option, which they wouldn't earn anything by any time with him, and unless they pay him a extended free agent contract, which would be a little surprising. But I do think his numbers, if you look at him his rookie season, he was a 1,000-yard receiver, and then he was victimized with an injury the second year, and then with mediocre to bad quarterback play for 30 games. So I do think he's an intriguing option. I just don't know if the cost would be worth it for a guy with 1 year left. He's 24. I think he turns 25 this year. But if they're willing to take like a 5th-round pick or something for him, hell yeah, bring him in. I mean, he can do a lot of the same things that Goddard can do. He is a reliable receiver. I'm not so sure that he could, dominate in the run game as much as Goddard has. But Goddard's gone, it seems like, at the end of this year, one way or another. So you might as well start looking some other options. And when you have 13 draft picks, what is throwing one at a dartboard to see what you can get with a guy like Pitts?
So say Kyle Pitts and Michael Mayer are both available for a round 4 pick. Who would you go with?
I would go with Mayer because he's got 2 years control and he's a year and a half younger. But I'm an ageist, so I don't know.
That's exactly where I'm at too. Davey says Kyle Pitts, not sure. And then Jack says not sold on Pitts. Ryan, any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think if I'm going to lean one way, I'll probably lean towards the bigger swing, which I feel is Pitts. But I think either way, at the end of the day, if you're telling me I get one of those guys, I'm not, believe me, I am a happy boy with a good tight end too, man. You have no idea.
Ryan's a happy boy. There it is.
And if I could mention one other guy just to not blow up the whole tight end thing, At cornerback still worries me a little bit.
Wait. No. Stop.
We're getting back to that?
No, you're stealing Dives' thunder.
Again. That's the next question.
Oh, all right. Yeah, we're all out of order. All right, let's go. Take control of the show, Dives. What are you doing, man? Let's go.
Real quick, my vet that I would look at is edge outside linebacker. Give me Jesse Luketa, another guy that I think could be really interesting. You look at this edge rotation, like I'm not even sure Josh Uche is going to make the roster. I'm excited to see Ojulari as, edge rusher 3 in this rotation. But I want more guys. No more Josh Sweat, who played a ton, but Jesse Luketa is a guy that played off-ball linebacker and edge rusher at Penn State. He's only 25 years old. He's a great run defender, kind of like Jalix Hunt. Just needs to build his pass rush repertoire. Not a lot of production. 3 sacks on 74 pass rush snaps last year, and not exactly a high ceiling kind of dude. But he's a guy that I think could be a great special teamer. And he's one of those low-cost, scheme-fit, hybrid edge rusher linebackers that could really fit in a Vic Fangio system and give you some upside. He was also a top 30 visit for the Eagles back in 2022, and that was also the same draft. Kenyon Green was a top 30 visit for the Philadelphia Eagles. So make sure you check out Jesse Luketa. Just something to keep an eye on. That could be a fun addition as a rotation piece. So especially if Uche doesn't really click with this defense. Let's roll on to the next question of the evening. As we currently sit in early June, we're going to talk about position groups that you think you're going to be warm and fuzzy over with, and then position groups that are going to be giving us fits during the first few weeks of the regular season. As David's already stealing mine, I'm going to go first because that's the trend here so far tonight. I'll start with warm and fuzzy. Sorry, Ryan. I'm going to go quarterback. I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see Tanner McKee finally get that QB2 reign for the Philadelphia Eagles. I think he's got obviously great size, wicked strong arm strength, and I think he's got a lot of upside. I think he's got a lot of tools inside the pocket. But with Kyle McCord, I think he's going to be another great quarterback 3 that I think is a little underrated, especially coming into the Eagles. He's got elite intangibles, and that duo of Tanner McKee and Kyle McCord is going to be really fun. I'm a big Eagles preseason guy, and I'm a sicko who watches every single snap, every single game. And the fact that we have those two at quarterback is going to be a lot of fun. And I will be upset when DTR hits the field for sure. But anyway, the position that I am thinking gives us fits. Sorry, David, I'm stealing your thunder. It is cornerback 2. And I think for me, I'm looking at Keely Ringo, obviously, arguably the biggest storyline in training camp right now. Obviously, he's a great athlete, and the tools and the measurables, the upside is all there. And there's a big question about whether or not he can put it all together. But I think the growing pains of Keely Ringo next year, the potential there is real. And I think assuming the Eagles don't address this position going forward, I think Ringo is going to get thrown into the fire. You look at the first 5 weeks of the regular season, Dak Prescott, Patrick Mahomes, Matthew Stafford, Baker Mayfield, Bo Nix. I think Keely Ringo could be seeing 10 targets per week his way during the jump. And that's what we saw during the bulk of the regular season was teams throwing away from Quinyon Mitchell and going after Darius Slay. And Darius Slay gets a lot of unfair hate. yeah, there were some struggles, but I thought he really held his own for the most part. And I think Kelee Ringo's going to get tested big time. So for me, it's CB2. Go ahead, David. Sorry.
All right. I'll change my answer. I'll go warm and fuzzy defensive tackle. I'm not concerned with the loss of Milton Williams. I love Jalen Carter. I think Jordan Davis, if I had to name a player who I think is about to have a breakout, I think it's him. Coincides when you're fifth-year option, when you're about to get a whole big contract. But that's just how it works out. And I love Ajomo, and I like Ty Robinson. I think Ty Robinson and, 20, 40 snaps or whatever is going to be a beast. I'm really looking forward to him. And to not say cornerback, I'll go with linebacker. I mean, the only linebacker on the roster that really has experience is Zach Bond. So you're looking at Jeremiah Trotter Jr. next up. He is, I guess, the next man up with all these snaps. So he's got an opportunity right in front of him to show what he can do. If he's going to, be a factor moving forward on this team, because he's got people behind him with Nakobe Dean coming back, with Jahad Campbell obviously going to be getting a lot of work. I don't know much about Gant and his role there, but also Smile Mondone, is that how you say his last name? He played with him all the way back when they won the national championship, 4 years back with Georgia. So he's as familiar with that defense more so than Trotter will be. So he's got his work cut out for him for sure. But yeah, I think that position is something that you might see another Band-Aid style move, like with Oren Burks kind of play somewhere late in the preseason if somebody falls off a roster.
Llegaron los nuevos McCrispy Strips, listos para aventurarse en la mezcla de mayo ketchup, la barbecue que quedó en el fondo de la cajita, Hot Fudge Sundae y en la nueva Creamy Chili McCrispy Strip Dip. Los nuevos McCrispy Strips, ahora en McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Not all EVs are created equal. The Ioniq 9 sets a new standard. Hyundai's first all-electric EV with 3 rows. Space in an EV, finally. Plus, with over 300 miles of range, ultra-fast charging capability, and tech infused with safety features, this isn't just space. It's freedom reimagined. More room, more possibilities. Learn more about the Ioniq 9 at HyundaiUSA.com. Call 562-314-4603 for complete details.
This episode is sponsored by Friskies, who would like to tell your cats hi. Now, if that didn't get your cat's attention, there is one thing that always does the trick. Just pour some Friskies crunchy food in the bowl and you'll hear those paws come running. Works every time. With so many Friskies choices, you can always bring your cats running from their secret napping spots. There's always more to explore. See for yourself at Friskies.com or visit your local store.
Are your business expenses playing hide and seek? With Uber for Business, the small spends that slip through the cracks, like rides and meals, go right where you need them. Because it integrates with leading expense platforms, you can say goodbye to surprise costs, missing dollars, or chasing receipts. Everything's track downable. Uber for Business. Make small steps that make a big impact. Learn more at uber.com/small steps.
It's summer. Time to enjoy long days, lazy nights, and great food. Because Uber Eats has deals all summer long. So, when hunger strikes, don't sweat it. Delicious deals are just a tap away on Uber Eats. Enjoy all your favorite grocery items delivered straight to you. Get ice cream, soda, and snacks from your favorite stores like Wegmans and CVS and make the most of every moment. Now that sounds like a good summer. Order now on Uber Eats. Terms apply. Product availability varies by region. See app for details.
Yep. I read an article the other day where Smile Mondon Jr. is going to be projected a breakout star for the Eagles this year. And that actually made me more nervous. I was like, and I think Smile's going to be great, but he's not ready. He's there's no way you can have those expectations for 2025. Ryan, where are you at?
Well, I was going to say D tackle, but David stole that from me. So
that's the theme tonight, Ryan.
The theme. So I'm going to say the other position on the line, and that's edge. You have, we lost 2 major players, but you have a budding star in, and Nolan Smith Jr. You kind of are maybe seeing the breakout of Jalix Hunt. And then who you signed in Ojulari and, potentially Uche. I'm kind of curious as to kind of how it's all going to shake out and how they're going to use, whether they, maybe they use Ty Robinson on the edge as well. He's, I know he's a D tackle, but he's a little bit, maybe smaller. Could be nice there as well. And then the one that's going to give me fits, I have a feeling is right guard. Because I don't know if I am necessarily sold on Tyler Steen. I feel like, again, there's a reason why he has not taken the position and run with it. And that's not to say that he can't. That's not to say that he hasn't been okay stepping in when he needed to be, whatever position it is. I just feel like now at this point, there doesn't seem to be any roadblocks in his way. It's his. And if he loses it this time to, first round bust Kenyon Green or one of the, millions of rookies that we have down there, it's going to be very infuriating. So I have a feeling I'm just going to not be happy either way at the end of the day. So.
Interesting. Okay.
No, please. What were we going to say?
I'm excited because I do think some of the lapses on the Eagles interior was a big piece of Mekhi Becton and some of his struggles. And I think Tyler Steen kind of fixes a lot of that. I'm less concerned about Tyler Steen's run defense. So I think it's going to be great. I really don't have that many concerns. And that's just me. David, what's your concern level with Tyler Steen?
I agree with Ryan a little bit that you've had an opportunity to win the job twice and you lost out to a center once and then a tackle once when you were brought in for IOL. But he did play well when he was asked to last season.
Sure.
But I'm not as worried about the position overall just because of the plethora of guys they have there. I'm pretty excited with Drew Kendall. I think he could be another Cam Jurgen-ish kind of guy, man, who could, maybe be a center, but he damn sure is athletic enough to play right guard. So I'm excited about him. Kenyon Green, I mean, it's hard to evaluate him with Houston. Their entire line was terrible, which goes to speak with coaching and personnel that was around them, making him have to do assignments that he probably shouldn't have been asked to do. So I don't know. I'm not as worried about the position overall just because I have confidence in Stoutland to get the most out of some of these guys. And Holland Pierce. I love that dude.
Yes. That's going to be a fun one. Can we just skip our tight end question? I feel like we pretty much hit that. Is that fair?
Yeah. My apologies.
And to wrap it up, David, I want to throw this at you. We went through a top 25, under 25 show last night, and Ryan had Cam Jurgens as the 14th best prospect in Philly sports. How wrong is that?
Damn.
I'm looking at the other names.
That seems you went out of your way unnecessarily to try and call me out just a little bit.
Yeah, I probably have them more in the 7-8 range, but
listen, I get that. It's not like I had him at 25.
No, I agree. Yeah, I mean, you still had him pretty high. Yeah, the Union having one is hysterical. I can't even believe that.
I mean, the fact that you have Jalen.
That was also Ryan.
Yeah, that was also me. The fact that you have
a Philly Union guy that had a Cam Jurgens.
No, he was way back in the 20s.
Oh, okay.
The fact that you had Jalix Hunt at like 11. Come on. He hasn't even done anything.
Got a ring.
Well, first of all, that's
you know what? So does the ball boy, but
who did everyone have at one?
We all had Jalen Carter. In terms of Eagles, we all had Jalen Carter.
Yeah.
Some combination of Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell in the top 5. Nolan Smith.
Painter's great pick.
Yeah. Nolan Smith, Cam Jurgens, and Jahad Campbell were pretty high. Jalix Hunt was number 11 for Rob. I was the highest on Jordan Davis. No, Ryan was the highest on Jordan Davis. Ryan was also the only one with Keely Ringo on the list. Everyone had, not everyone.
I didn't have Dean. I didn't have a Jomo. I didn't have Hunt, and I did not have Ringo.
And then Rob was also the only one with N'Kobe Dean.
Yeah, that's ambitious.
Yeah, exactly.
So
that's a great list of the top 10. That's pretty impressive. I've never played that out, but that's really cool. I like Jahad Campbell up there in top 10.
Right, baby.
Yeah, he's gonna be awesome. Davey says Jordan Davis is a Twinkie addict. The one of the funnier comments from Vic Fangio was, the question was, why is Jordan Davis in the best shape of his life now? And he was basically no comment.
Because he's about to get paid.
I feel like we hear Jordan Davis is in the best shape of his life every year.
Yeah, but true. But and again, take it for whatever it's worth. But apparently, towards the end of last season, he started doing a Peloton, and apparently he's been again. I'm only just reporting what I heard, and apparently he's been addicted to it over the last few months and just have been doing it nonstop. And who knows, maybe that gives him that extra little whatever.
I think he has a crush on the trainer. He said he has a specific trainer that he does her class over and over. So
I mean, I wouldn't.
Whatever motivates you, buddy.
Right, exactly. If you put a little Twinkie in front of him, that works too. Whatever.
All right, guys, we are wrapping it up. David, final thoughts, plugs. Let's head out.
Yeah, I don't have any. I have a non-Eagles related piece coming out. It's a 16-player evaluation on Clemson's potential 2026 draft picks.
Nice. They're loaded. Yeah. They are loaded.
Yes. Oh, yeah. They're ridiculous. I hung out with three Clemson scouts and one former Clemson offensive tackle, and they just inundated me with just a plethora of information. Now I almost feel like I have to root for Clemson to win the title now this year. They definitely have a shot after you look at all that talent, my Lord. But I think that comes out tomorrow. But as far as Eagles stuff, I have something coming out next week, like the paradigm shift of Howie Roseman, which some of it we discussed tonight, like his ability to move on now. And there's a whole lot of examples of that, like paying running backs, paying linebackers, paying safeties, drafting linebackers. So I don't know. It's been an interesting shift from him. So I'm excited to share that later.
David at PHL Eagle News, one of the best Eagles follows there is. NFL Draft, Eagles, and so forth. Go check him out. And I shit you not, Ryan, did I not message you? Because we're getting ready for some college football content as well. And I'm pretty sure I messaged Ryan, please go sure to check out Clemson's prospects.
You did.
Because they are, especially on the defensive line, it's wild.
They have 4 potential first round picks and 3 top 10. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah, it is nuts.
Awesome.
And I haven't even begun to deep dive. Just on the surface level, you can already tell.
And 2 weeks out is the Virginia Tech breakdown. they might have one top 100.
Well, I was going to say where they have 1 third rounder.
Ryan, anything you want to plug? Final thoughts?
No, tomorrow on the Eagles Pinball Network, football smack talk show will return. We took a few weeks off as we do during the off season. So we'll be coming back tomorrow at about 5:30. Other than that, stay tuned for more on the Eagles Pinball Network.
Can I add one player I wanted to mention earlier? When I said to go for Michael Mayer, I should have waited till the tight end section. The other person I wanted to mention was the Cleveland Browns cornerback, Greg Newsome II. I think he would be a really good option to bring in if they have any concern. He got excellent coverage skills. He's aggressive, competitive, quick. The Eagles obviously have a great relationship with Barry and the Browns over there. He's a guy who they seem to want to move. So could be another later, in the offseason kind of guy.
There you go. Nice.
Did you see the clip of Adoree Jackson managing the Eagles media? Did you see that?
Yeah, that was funny.
That was terrific.
Yeah, that was great. I became an instant fan. And everything
I'm
he's
a big
done has
Adoree
been
Jackson
fantastic.
And I've said this from the beginning. I think Adoree Jackson is a great fit in Vic Fangio's system. And I've said it also from the beginning that he's a better fit than Keeley. We'll see what happens. That's still a position of need. But anyway.
I was going to say as well, if it wasn't for the fact that Steeler tight end Parham Jr. got hurt, it looks like he's going to be out for the year. I was actually looking at their backup, Darnell Washington from Georgia.
Wow.
Potential trade target, but the news came down that the ACL for Parham Jr. So.
Yeah, he would have been a beast. He's been like a sixth offensive lineman, man. The running game would have just been nasty.
Yeah.
I would rather have that than Grant Calcaterra.
Oh, yes.
I'd rather have you. I'd rather have you. Whoa. Let's not say things we can't take back.
I threw that for you. That was
I'd rather have either of you guys than Calcaterra, guys. I'm just saying.
Yeah, for entertainment purposes, to watch me get knocked on my ass every play.
Make sure you go check out The Edge with my man, Eagles Eric.
Yeah, great.
Breaking it
What
down.
a great start. To,
if you really want to learn the X's and O's and things like that, from analytics to salary cap, and you're not watching Eagles Eric's show, The Edge, you're doing it wrong. Any Eagles fan, any NFL fan, just an amazing addition to the Eagles Pinpoint Network. Make sure you go check them out.
Yeah.
Twitter, YouTube. Just amazing content.
I've certainly learned my fair share of things thanks to Eric. And
it's great.
If you're that type of fan and you really like the complete opposite of whatever that is, that's the Football Smack Talk show tomorrow. 5:30 Wednesday. We don't talk any of that smart crap. We just BS and we talk while like as if we're having a beer.
And great logo. That's a really cool logo, Eric. I don't think I've seen that one.
Thank you. Yeah, it's somewhere around here. I don't
know. Your show has a lot of value, Ryan. Don't down it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Two guys at a bar talking birds, man. It's great.
Especially when there's like sirens going off. And Ryan did a show on site. I don't know where that was.
It was in Pittman, New Jersey. They have like a craft fair twice a year, and we do it outside of our good buddy Len. He has a jersey shop. Get great Eagles jerseys there, and so we do it every year to kind of twice a year to kind of help them out. And there were alarms going off. Firemen were running behind us. Like, it was the most chaos I've ever experienced while live. And, you just got to roll with it. Dives didn't really help. Probably making laughing the whole time. And
it was great.
I actually tuned in when that was happening, which I never do on like a Saturday. And I was like, what in the hell is Ryan doing?
Yeah, it was good times. It was good times. So. But that's it. That's what happens when you go live.
Funnier that y'all just kept talking with all the chaos behind you. You just continued the show.
I mean, again,
that's where true experience and podcasting.
It's 16 years, baby. That's
like to be able to work through that and just deal with it is amazing. And Ryan, you did it. That was impressive. Major respect.
If there is anything you could take away from this, is I've been doing this for way too long.
I literally didn't know there were podcasts 16 years ago. That's honest.
Yeah.
Truth.
Well, yours truly. Right. And by the way, don't ever look up any of my old shows.
Okay.
Davey says back-to-back Super Bowl champs.
Let's go, baby.
I have to go back and finish watching that marathon. I was so excited because I think I was working that Saturday, and I saw the beginning. Then I went and worked a few hours, and then I came back, and you guys were finally getting the ice cream you were asking for hours.
Yeah, water ice. There's like a little water ice truck that's like, I don't know. It had to have been like 20 yards up. And we have an outside big speaker, and it's the whole time we're like, hey, anytime you want to come down here, and sure enough, eventually, basically it just proves that if you keep begging for free shit, you will get it.
You guys at the first hour or two just kept asking, "We like ice cream. We like ice cream." And then at the end, I finally came back at the end of the stream, and you guys were eating it. It was hilarious. It was heartwarming. Anyway, guys, thank you everyone for watching. Make sure you go check out Ryan Reese tomorrow and Eric talking more Philadelphia Eagles. So many shows on here. Talk to, of course, Eagle, our guy, Johnny and Shane on the Shane page. One of the best shows there is. Davey says, best ice cream flavor equals bourbon. You're not wrong. You're not wrong whatsoever.
That's a good one. And by the way, Shane is alive.
He'll be back next week.
He is coming back next week, where we hope to have a start of a really fun series that we're going to be doing. So,
best ice cream flavor, peanut butter ripple. Give me vanilla. Give me just traces of peanut butter throughout. I'm happy. Or some sort of chocolate vanilla twist.
Soft serve. Yeah, if you're doing a soft serve, you do the twist.
Yeah.
But I'll go old school butter pecan. Reminds me of my dad.
That's cool. That's fair. Haagen-Dazs coffee ice cream hits every time. I'm a big fan of that. I'm a big coffee guy. No, I'm a big fan. Coconut. That's a first. That's a first. I don't think I've ever known anybody likes coconut.
I didn't even know they made it into an ice cream flavor.
Anyway, guys, we're heading out. He is Ryan Reese at Philly Sports PSA. David at Joe News. I'm Dimes. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next week, Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Birds of the Round Table. For Ryan, for David, for myself, stay awesome. Go Birds.